It's December. Anyway, so I recently saw a couple of reels by Bonnie Wright, who you may know. She's an actress, producer, activist. So I saw a couple of reels by her and I was absolutely horrified because all I saw was, oh, I know this actress and she's explaining a fun recipe. That's okay. But all the comment section saw was
someone who has aged.
Oh my god, can you imagine a person you watched as a kid has changed?
Now, the quality, or rather lack of it, and hostility of Instagram comment section is a topic for another video, but I was just shocked how there was not a single person in the comments that was like, well, guess what? People do age, and they don't always look the same. And it got me thinking, why are we so bothered by how other people age, by how other women age? We could argue that it's because we're used to seeing so much Botox and cosmetic procedures that it distorted our reality and we just don't remember what natural aging looks like. But every time a celebrity has work done, they are also getting shit. So it doesn't matter what a woman does when she starts aging, it's always a wrong choice. Today we're going to analyze why people are so upset with Bonnie's appearance, and on the other side of the spectrum, we will be analyzing people's reaction to Megan Fox, a person who also started their career quite young and is expected to uphold her youthful appearance. This video is sponsored by NordVPN. As you know, I have been using NordVPN personally for the last couple of years, no regrets. It's just difficult to access things sometimes as I live in Poland, and NordVPN not only helps me access everything I need, but it also keeps me safe. NordVPN protects you from a variety of online threats. You know, there are phishing links that look like they're something, but they're not actually something. There are people stealing passwords, there are fake Wi-Fi's that you can connect to and then you're screwed. Sometimes it just takes a single wrong click and your device gets compromised. So to avoid that, I use NordVPN because it is specifically built to deal with issues like this. And if you get it today using the link nordvpn.com/Karolina, you will get a special deal and you will get 4 extra months on a 2-year plan. You can use it on 6 devices at once. All it takes is just a single click to turn it on, so it connects really easily. It's super fast, you don't have to worry about it slowing you down. It's the fastest VPN out there. So again, if it sounds like something you're interested in, follow the link nordvpn.com/Karolina to get a special deal, and I'll see you there. I won't. What am I saying? Both Bonnie and Megan, who are now in their 30s, got their breakthrough roles in massive franchises. Bonnie debuted at the age of 9 or 10, if my math is correct, in the first Harry Potter movie, and Megan got her first starring role in Transformers at the age of 21. Their roles were of course very different. Ginny Weasley was at first a shy, quirky character and developed into a beautiful but pretty flavorless love interest, which is something I personally hate about the movies. I feel like they did the character really dirty. Michaela Baines is this very male gaze, sexy student who's also interested in cars and is pretty badass, so a typical 2000s female character whose major character trait is sex appeal. Now, the curse of getting big at a young age, and also as a part of a massive franchise, is usually that unless you take on a role that is even bigger than the original franchise, your career will always be a little overshadowed by the first big thing that you did. Since the Harry Potter movies, Bonnie Wright has actually done a fair share of stage work, film work, she produced movies, she became an activist, she wrote books, she created her own sustainable living community, but still the first thing people will say when they see her is Ginny Weasley. Megan Fox's career, on the other hand, has steered away from the bimbo roles, but even the now iconic Jennifer's Body initially had mixed reviews, and it didn't help breaking the mold that Hollywood has put her in. She also now openly speaks about the way that Hollywood and the people that she was working with treated her and how it affected her. But anyway, I think the problem with us having the particular image of certain people in our heads is that the moment that they do not fit that image anymore, we get upset. When we see Bonnie Wright as a grown-up, we don't see the teenage Ginny anymore. We see a whole grown woman, and it upsets us. And when we see Megan Fox all grown up, we no longer see the natural young vixen that we associated her with and it also upsets us. We see a grown-up woman and it throws us off. It also comes down to our parasocial relationship with celebrities. We grew up seeing their faces and we feel entitled to know about all the changes. Seeing them after a while and seeing how they've matured and how they've changed, we feel betrayed because we thought they're our friends, so why didn't they tell us that they were changing and maturing and getting old and getting work done? Like, we feel entitled to that information. We feel like we deserve that information. We feel like we deserve constant updates on their appearance. And when we don't get those updates, we are like, excuse me, I should be the first one to know. I feel like when we compare the two though, Megan Fox gets shit for looking different, for having changed, whereas Bonnie Wright gets shit for looking old or not looking her age. First of all, Bonnie Wright is a 32-year-old woman that has a face, therefore her face looks 32 years old. Simple as that. That should be end of story. That's all we should care about, but it's not like that because we live in a society. Second of all, we're not entitled to an explanation why someone's appearance is the way it is and it's not what we expect it to be, or it doesn't match our idea of what a person that age should look like. We don't know their medical history, we don't know the shit that people have been through in their lives, their life story, and again, it's none of our business. Thirdly, Bonnie's skin is very fair and it's obviously more prone to sun damage. So it might age differently to people with darker complexions or more melanin. Bonnie also visibly stays away from the excessive makeup and she prefers a natural look, which makes her skin more visible. And finally, when it comes to natural aging, is there really a set standard of how many wrinkles you should get at what age? Is 3 on your forehead a standard, or 5? Is 10 brow feet too much, or is 7 a norm for my age? It's not a thing. I'm at an age where the women I'm surrounding myself with, we are beginning to show first signs of aging. It's really surprising to me how different it is for every person I know, because I thought we're all gonna like start graying around the same time. Even though we're the same age, some of my friends are already like sort of starting to have gray hair. Some haven't even found the first gray hair yet. Some are beginning to have wrinkles. Some are still getting asked for ID. Some are already getting Botox, while some, including me, are still getting acne. Thank you so much. Judging by the way people online are acting, you would think there is a set of development rules that are common for everyone, sort of like with a developing newborn. At age 30, you get a first patch of gray hair. At age 31, you stop getting pimples. That's not how it works. And as always, when it comes to men, it is true that the more gray hair and the more stubble they have, the more hot they seem to us. And it's not just people with daddy issues. Like, you can see the treatment that older male celebrities get. You don't see comments about men aging badly unless they've had excessive work done or they've gained weight. Somehow nobody is bashing Rupert Grint's wrinkles or the way Shia LaBeouf is aging, and personally I think it's ridiculous. Not that they deserve bashing, but they're clearly not the young heartthrobs that we remember them as. And somehow it just doesn't bother us as much. Like, they're maturing while the women are getting old, and it's this double standard that I just find is so upsetting. Now, the question that you hear on this channel a lot, has it always been like that? And we're not gonna do the whole history of aging because that's a separate video, but if we look at classic Hollywood stars, because we're mostly talking about celebrities here, mostly actors. So if we look at classic Hollywood stars, most of them aged pretty naturally. I mean, obviously they had access to excellent medical care and cosmetic treatments, but also a lot of them were heavy substance abusers, and it kind of accelerated their aging. But anyway, it doesn't really matter how people were aging back then. What matters is the media perception of them and of their changing looks. And even though the celebrity culture was ripe at the time, it was mostly gossip and speculation regarding people's love lives, people's feuds, rather than their appearance. Yes, it was undoubtedly a time of immense pressure on women to look respectable and put together, but also aging was sort of a given. You were just expected to age. And as actresses aged, they simply stopped getting offers. With rare exceptions, aging meant losing your career, basically. Which still sort of happens to actresses nowadays, but I think basically there was less pressure on looking young, but only because as you aged, you were considered useless anyway. And nowadays, even though the situation for older actresses is slowly improving, at the same time, it is limited to those that still look attractive or age well. Unless they have achieved a certain level of stardom and they're allowed to just not care anymore. So as oftentimes in history, we both improved some things and we also messed up some. Anyway, I guess it all comes back to the wonderful world of minding your own business. Bonnie Wright looks great and happy. Megan Fox looks great and happy. How many wrinkles they have or don't have is none of our business. I mean, yes, if people like Megan Fox were more upfront about getting work done, then probably people like Bonnie wouldn't be getting so much shit for looking old, whatever that means. If most people in their 30s will be getting Botox at the first sight of a wrinkle, anyone with wrinkles will look out of place and will look old. But I'm also sure that if Megan didn't have any work done and if Bonnie had work done, they would each get the same amount of shit respectively. So now an additional person I wanted to bring up to this comparison is the case of Pamela Anderson. Pamela's image throughout her career was a very high maintenance bombshell, I would say. But over time she made her aging looks a statement. When she showed up to this year's Paris Fashion Week almost makeup free, the media exploded. They just blew up. Not only because she's a woman in her 50s who dared to show her bare face to the world, but also because it was the Pamela Anderson, a sex symbol and a person known for their heavy makeup looks. This is something I personally have mixed feelings about, because when I first saw the pictures of her at Paris Fashion Week and then recently at another event, I was like, this is amazing, I love her. But when you start thinking about it, why is it such a big deal? Why are we writing articles about someone in their 50s not choosing to wear makeup? Why is it even a thing? And would the reaction be similar if it was someone with more visible wrinkles or more saggy skin? Does going makeup free only get a pass when you're beautiful? You know, all these sort of things. Anyway, as Pamela Anderson said, I think we all start looking a little funny when we get older. And I agree. And I also think that women should not be valued based on how well they fit our expectations of what a certain age should look like. Women should not be valued based on how well they age. Because we don't get to tell people how they should age. It's something that each one of us will have to deal with, hopefully, and we will have to deal with it on our own. That's all, and see ya! Bye!